Hello friends, in this video I will be discussing the basic concept of DNA cloning and its application. This video is a part of the initiative taken by the Zoological Society of Assam. After the end of the presentation, you will know what is cloning vector, why cloning vectors, features of cloning vectors, different types of cloning vectors that includes plasmids, bacteriophage, cosmids, bacterial artificial chromosome, yeast artificial chromosome, human artificial chromosome, retroviral vectors, and then what determines choice of vectors and at last vectors in molecular gene cloning. Can you identify this famous scientist? He is none other than Paul Berg of Stanford University. For the first time, he created the recombinant DNA molecule, and for that, he used a restriction enzyme to isolate a gene from human cancer-causing monkey virus and an enzyme called DNA ligase to join this virus DNA with a molecule of DNA from the bacterial virus lambda. But he realized the danger of his experiment and therefore temporarily terminated it before the recombinant DNA molecule was added to E. coli, where it would have been quickly reproduced. Following the termination of his experiment, he proposed a one-year moratorium on recombinant DNA study, and that time he mostly studied the safety issues. But later, he resumed his studies into recombinant DNA techniques, and for that he was awarded Nobel Prize in Chemistry in the year 1980. Here I like to introduce with two more scientists. One of them is Herbert Boyer and another is Stanley Cohen. Both of them met at a scientific conference on plasmid in Hawaii in the year 1972. In that seminar, Boyer presented a paper on the techniques of development of recombinant DNA molecule, as his lab had isolated restriction enzyme which cut DNA into segments and also joined the segment by using DNA ligase enzyme. On the other hand, Cohen and presented a method how to construct the artificial plasmid with ampicillin marker and also the techniques of isolating and cloning gene carried by plasmid. At that conference, they realized that if they combine their expertise, they can introduce genes into bacterial cells and express them. At last, in the year 1973 and 74, Stanley Cohen of Stanford University and Herbert Boyer of University of California, San Francisco, together described the laboratory process for joining and replicating DNA from different species. In 1974, Stanford University and University of California applied for a patent that was granted in the year 1980 by the US Patent Office. And interestingly, two of the most profitable patents in the biotechnology area are those of Cohen and Boyer, which were owned by Stanford University. These patents uncover the fundamental technology used throughout molecular biology, including recombinant DNA research. As early 1995, this patent generated an income of 139 million US dollar in royalty payments. As a result of that, more than 325 million people worldwide have been helped by 160 approved biotech drugs and vaccines. 350 more biotech drugs and vaccines now in clinical trials targeting more than 200 diseases. Biotechnology is responsible for hundreds of diagnostic tests, including HIV tests and home pregnancy tests, DNA fingerprinting, etc. In this figure, I try to depict some of the important discoveries in the field of genetic engineering. In the year 1961, first genetic recombination was demonstrated. In the year 1967, first DNA ligase was isolated. In the year 1968, first restriction factors that could selectively cut bacteriophage DNA was isolated. In the year 1970, restriction enzyme was isolated. In the year 1971, restriction enzyme mapping of the simian virus was completed. In the year 1972, first recombinant DNA and transformation of the first E. coli was assembled. In the year 1974, New England Biolabs opened for business. In the year 1975, ReBase, that is the restriction enzyme database, was launched. And in the year 76 and 77, an introduction of Maximum Gilbert and Sanger sequencing was completed. In the year 1977, first cloning vector PBR322 was reported. In the year 1978, Smith, Arber and Nathan was awarded Nobel Prize for the discovery of restriction. Next, what is the meaning of clone? Clone is a collection of molecules or cells or identical to an original molecule or cells. To clone a gene is to make many copies of it. For example, by replicating in a culture of bacteria. Clone gene can be a normal copies of gene, that is the wild type. Clone gene can be an altered versions of gene, that is a mutant type. Recombinant DNA technology makes manipulating genes possible. To work directly with a specific gene, scientists prepare a gene-sized pieces of DNA in identical copies, and that process is called a DNA. In this figure, I'll explain the process of DNA cloning in a stepwise manner. First, plasmid DNA is isolated, and then source DNA is also isolated. And after that, both plasmid DNA and source DNA is cut with the help of the same restriction enzyme. And then the target DNA is ligated with a plasmid DNA, and as a result, recombinant DNA is formed. Then this recombinant DNA is inserted into a host cells, that is nothing but a bacteria, and that process is called transformation. Inside the host cells, it will replicate independently of the host machinery, and as a result, it will form a number of copies is of recombinant DNA and also the gene of interest, and that gene of interest later it can be harvested for basic research on gene. For example, for the introductions of new phenotypic characters in plants, as well as it can also be used for different and microbial technology. If the vectors is of the expression vectors, then inside the host cells, else the protein is translated, and that protein can be harvested for basic research on protein that include various biomedical applications and also the human welfare applications. Why genetic engineering is required? Basically speaking, it will be required for medical and health applications, and also the production of novel and important. The basics of DNA cloning. For that you need, number one, source of DNA to be cloned. Number two, choice of factors to carry, maintain and replicate clone gene in a host cells. Number three, restriction enzyme to cut DNA. Number four, DNA ligase to join foreign and vector DNA for the formation of recombinant DNA. And number five, host cells in which the recombinant DNA can replicate. Source of DNA. There are four different sources of DNA. Number one, genomic DNA, which can be extracted from cells and purified. cDNA, for that mRNA is isolated first and later on that is reverse transcribe to cDNA with the help of another enzyme called reverse transcriptase. Amplified DNA is a product of polymerase chain reaction, and synthetic DNA is made artificially using a machine. Coming to vectors, it will require to carry the ligated foreign gene into the host cells, to maintain the foreign gene in the host cells, to replicate, pass into the new cells during the cell division, express the clone foreign gene to make a protein in next cloning vectors. The molecular analysis of DNA has been made possible by the cloning of DNA. The two molecules that are required for cloning are the DNA to be cloned and a cloning vectors. A cloning vector is a small piece of DNA taken either from a virus or plasmid or the cells of a higher organisms that can be stably maintained in an organism and into which a foreign DNA fragment can be inserted for cloning purposes. Most vectors are genetically engineered. The cloning vector is chosen according to the size and types of DNA to be cloned. Continue with the cloning vectors. The vectors therefore contain features that allow for a convenient insertion or removal of DNA fragments in or out of the vectors, for example by treating the vector and the foreign DNA with a restriction enzyme and then ligating the fragment together. After a fragment has been cloned into a cloning vector, it may be further subcloned into another vector designed for more specificity. Why cloning vectors is required? Cloning vector is used as a vehicle to artificially carry foreign genetic material into another cells where it can be replicated and expressed. It is used to amplify a single molecule of DNA into many copies. Cloning vectors are DNA molecules that are used to transport clone sequences between biological host and the test tubes. Without cloning vector, molecular gene cloning is totally impossible, and therefore cloning vector is one of the very important tools of DNA cloning process. Vectors in gene cloning. Features of a cloning vectors. A vectors should have some essential features. Number one, origin of replication. This makes autonomous replication in vectors. ORI is a specific sequence of nucleotide from where replication starts. When foreign DNA is linked to the sequence along with the vector replication, foreign DNA also starts replicating within a host cells. Next important essential features is a cloning site. It is a place where the vector DNA can be digested and desired DNA can be inserted by the same restriction enzyme. It is a point of entry or analysis for genetic engineering work. Recently, recombinant plasmid contain a multiple cloning sites which have as many as 20 restriction sites. Third important essential feature is a selectable marker. It is a gene that confers resistance to a particular antibiotics or selective agents that would normally kill the host cells or prevent its growth. A cloning vector contains a selectable marker which confers on the host cells an ability to survive and proliferate in a selective growth media containing the particular antibiotic. Such kind of selectable marker is called antibiotic resistant gene marker. Second type of selectable marker is called reporter gene or marker gene, or it also called blue-white colony assay. Reporter genes are used in cloning vectors to facilitate the screening of a successful clone by using a features of these genes that allow successful clone to be easily identified. such features present in cloning vector is used in blue-white colony assay. In this figure, you can see some of the blue colonies and some of the white colonies. White colonies are successful transform colonies. Blue colonies are not a successful transform colony. The mechanism of blue-white colony assay I'll discuss on my second video. Additional properties of vectors. It should be short, small, compatible with host cell, incompatible with other vectors, should become high in copy number. It should able to express itself utilizing the host machinery. It should be able to move under two systems, that is prokaryotes and eukaryotic system, and such vectors are called types of cloning vectors. Plasmids, bacteriophage, osmids, bacterial artificial chromosome, yeast artificial chromosome, human artificial chromosome, and then retroviral factors. But today I will be discussing only plasmids. These are the different types of vectors: lambda phase vectors, plasmids, fatmids, yeast artificial chromosome, osmids, M13 vectors, bacterial artificial chromosomes. Plasmids is an autonomously replicating circular double-stranded extra chromosomal DNA which is physically separated from a chromosomal DNA and can replicate it independently. They are most commonly found in bacteria. Sometimes they are also present in archaea and eukaryotic organisms. The size of the plasmid varies from 1 to over 200 kilobase pair in length. Most general plasmid may be used to clone DNA inserts of up to 10 kilobase pair in size. Many plasmids have high copy number, and high copy number is useful as it produces greater yield of recombinant plasmid for subsequent manipulation. However, low copy number plasmids may be preferably used in certain circumstances. For example, when the proteins from the clone gene is toxic to the cell. For example, PBR322, PAC18, F plasmid, pol plasmid, etc. In this table, you can see the plasmids along with the copy number. For example, F plasmid, approximate copy number is 1, P1 prophase 1, RK2 4 to 7, PBR32 16, PAC18 32 50 the copy number. In the second table, the different plasmids along with length, molecular weight, and organisms is mentioned. PBR345 nucleotide length is 0.7 kilobase pair, molecular weight is 0.46 MDA, and organisms is E. coli. And similarly for PBR32, POL-E1, RP4, and POL1 is described here. The nomenclature of plasmid cloning factors. The name PBR322 conforms with the standard rules for vector nomenclature. P indicates that this is indeed a plasmid. BR identified the laboratory in which the vector was originally constructed. BR stands for Bolivar and Rodriguez, the two researchers who developed PBR322. 322 distinguish this plasmid from other developed in the same laboratory. There are also plasmids called PBR325, 327, etc. Whole plasmids can be categorized into three generations: first generation, second generation, and third generation. First generation plasmids. For example, PSC101. This is the earliest plasmid vector made by Stanley Cohen. And this was an 8.9 kilobase pair low copy number plasmid which has the single restriction site and a single tetracycline resistance marker. Second generation plasmid, 8 vectors, for example PBR322. This was the next generation plasmids of 4 kilobase pair in size. It was a low copy number plasmid which has many restriction enzyme sites. For example, EcoR1, BAMH1, PST1, HINE3, SA2, etc. These are located in either of the two antibiotic resistance marker, ampicillin and tetracycline. But cloning into one of the restriction sites would inactivate one of the antibiotic resistance marker, and that process is called insertional inactivation. And this happens because when a target gene is ligated, then one of the antibiotic resistance marker becomes inactive. Then screening for the absence of the second antibiotic marker was putative evidence of a successful cloning event. The lower molecular weight allowed cloning of larger fragments. Continue with the second generation vectors. First, PBR322 used to be one of the most commonly used E. coli cloning vectors. The replicants responsible for the replication of plasmids. ROP genes coding for the ROP protein, which promotes conversion of unstable RNA1 RNA2 complex to a stable complex and serve to decrease the copy number. BLA genes coding for beta-lactamase that confers resistance to ampicillin. TAT gene encoding tetracycline resistance. Then third generation plasmid vectors. It includes PAC89, 18, 19. PAC means plasmids of University of California. Here, the PLAC plasmid were engineered actually from PBR322 origin of replication, but it also includes the alpha portion of the beta-galactosidase genes complete with its promoter. The beta portion of the LAC gene was included in the chromosome of the host cell, so that the host containing plasmid was LAC+. The restriction enzyme sites, that means 6 in PAC89 and 10 in PAC18-9, and are clustered together on an oligonucleotide called a polylinker or multiple cloning sites. It is in frame within the first few amino acids of the LAC-Z reporter genes, and thus providing insertional activation, that is LAC+ to LAC-. That means the successful transformation is a LAC-. Continue with that. The native LAC-Z promoter is situated just upstream of the clone gene, allowing the expression of genes on inserts that are correctly oriented. Most of the non-essential DNA has been removed to provide the ability of to clone a larger fragments. Ampicillin marker is also included for selection of transforms. The high copy number of PAC plasmid is a result of lack of ROP genes and single point mutation in RAP of PMB1. BLA gene coding for beta-lactamase that confers resistance to ampicillin, but it differs from PBR32 by 2 mutations. The region of E. coli operon LAC containing cap protein binding site, promoter plaque, LAC repressor binding site, and 5' terminal part of the LAC gene encoding N-terminal fragments of beta-galactosidase. This fragment whose synthesis can be induced by IPTG. Therefore, in the presence of IPTG, bacteria synthesize both fragments of the enzyme and from a brood colonies on media with egg cell. But the insertion of the DNA into multiple cloning sites located within the LAC-Z gene, that is, in a codon of 6 to 7 of LAC-Z are replaced by multiple cloning sites, and it inactivates the N-terminal fragments of beta-galactosidase and abolishes the alpha complementation, and therefore bacteria carrying the recombinant plasmid give rise to the white colony. Thank you. Please feel free to write in my mail for any queries. Don't forget to give your valuable feedback in our YouTube channel. Stay tuned for my second video on DNA cloning part 2.